Everybody, this is Adam with Atlanta Phantom Motor Repair. I'm showing you this picture here of the rack and pinion shaft that the power steering column goes onto. And basically, I did not tell you how to take it off. You lift up the little rubber boot, and there's a bolt underneath there, and you undo that bolt, and then you can get a flat head and just kind of pry it up off of the shaft, and it'll pop right off. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Thanks. Okay, this is a 1997 Cadillac Deville rack and pinion replacement. You got to take off the tires, knock out. After you take off your arms to the wheel well, you have to drop the subframe down. You can see up in here how I have it hanging down a little bit. The best step to do is go on the side subframes in the back first, drop the bolt all the way out, put the bolt up in a good amount of thread turns, do the same on the opposite side, and when you have those secure at a distance where you feel like the subframe's not going to fall on you, then you can go ahead and drop down the middle bolts doing the same process. Okay, and if you need more room, which you probably will, you need to go to the top and unhook the engine mount, and then also the subframe bolts on the front side need to be dropped down as well. Alright, after that, you've got bolts up in here. You can see that. 1, 2, and there's also a third one on the side right there. Those three all connect to the rack and pinion on the passenger side. On the driver's side, you're gonna have to unhook these lines right here first with a 18. Most of the other bolts are all 15. The ones that are hooked into the subframe are 15 mm, and then these lines are 18 mm. The rack and pinion. Now there's two bolts right here. You can kind of see the bottom 1 and 2. Those guys are a pain in the ass. What I had to do was put a 15 mm ratchet set with a swivel, whatever they call that, and I had to take my pry bar, my breaker bar, and wedge it up in there and break it loose. It'll give you enough leverage. There's no other way to do it. You can't use a ratchet set or anything else, so just try to put that 15 wrench on there and break it loose with a long bar. And then after that, you pull her out and you replace the new one. The most important part for the alignment is you got to take these off and you unscrew it. You need to count your rotations, full rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, so that you know when you take it off and you put it on the new one that the length will be exactly how it was before and the alignment won't be completely chaotic. That's basically the step process for the alignment on both ends here. Don't forget your rotation. And after you put it on the new one and you get it all ready, I had to pull it out the driver's side because the motor sticks up further and it won't go the opposite direction at all, period. So just pull it out the driver's side, and it takes a little wiggling and manipulation, a little manhandling, and you can get it out. Alright. Okay, so I'm installing the ends on the rack and pinion here, and basically what I did was count the rotations when I took it off the other one. Passenger side was 20, driver side was 21. I already did the passenger side. You go all the way around, all the way down, 20 rotations, and this bolt, you come down, put some vice grips on here, hold it in place, and tighten this nut down onto it, and it locks it in position. And I got this one over here, which I already did the rotations but I'm gonna redo it just to show you. Okay, so it's off. I already got the nut on here as far back as I want it, and the paper says 21 rotations. So I'm gonna put it on here and rotate it until I kind of see it get locked on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21. Perfect. I'm gonna slide this bad boy down. Grab my vice grips. Lock it into position. It's gonna still wiggle, but when you tighten it down, you want to hold it straight as if it was being bolted down on the frame, on the subframe, and keep it level with that as you tighten down with the wrench. All right. Okay, now that that's done, this kit came with some seals which go back in the lines inside. For proper installation. Which you take those caps off and you put the seals in there and you close it back on there so that it has new fresh seals on the unit to hook back into the power steering line down here. Okay. Otherwise, you'll be leaking. You're gonna have to get back under here and do it again. So don't forget the seals. Alright, this is Adam here again, back with this. I'm about to install the new rack and pinion, and these are where the lines go. I wouldn't take them out yet because there's fluid in there, and you don't want it leaking out all over the place, even though you're going to fill it back up with the lines hooked back in it. We're just going to go ahead and keep the fluid in for now, and then when we get in there, I'll take them off to put the lines on. Alright, so I've got the rack and pinion, the new one, back in its original position. And I'm tightening down this first bolt because those lines are going to be on the way. So you got to put these first two in first. 15. You can see on the bottom side, one is almost through all the way and the other one hasn't been touched. That's the next step. Alright, so now I got those two main bolts tightened. And I'll put the seals on the tips to be able to plug into the lines. You gotta take those lines off when you're ready to put them in. And then you're gonna have to go up in there and find the steering column. And put it back on top of there. Okay, there's the tip. So I spent 30 minutes trying to put that back on, and it was just a hair's length where you couldn't turn it with your hand. So I stuck the key in the ignition and let the steering wheel loosen up, and that gave it enough for you to be able to twist it and put it on its shaft. So don't forget to put the key in the ignition and adjust the steering wheel. Okay, so after I installed these bolts flush to get it into the original position, I put my seals back on so that when I unhook those caps I can put the lines back in. And then you gotta come up in here and hook the the steering column back on to here. And that'll have that portion done. You stick the bolt back through, tighten it down, and it grips it. And then you go back and you put your bolts in. Up in here, one. There's one on the side, 2, and 3. And that will mount the entire unit back into its position with it hooked to the steering column. After that, you'll have to put your lines back together, connect the wires that you unhooked wherever they were unhooked at, here, here. Then the most important thing that you could forget is to tighten up your subframe back flush to torque specifications, and put your wheels back on after you hook these bad boys back into this position. Now, I told you before that you need to count your rotations when you put that back on there. And then after we get those tightened on, I'm going to come down here to this bolt right here, and I'm going to tighten it down even tighter just for safety.